Hello everybody, I am the Solar Gamer, and welcome back to Europa Universalis IV, The Great Powers. Now, it's just me this time, and it's been quite a while since the last episode, but I did want to kind of complete this series, the one between myself, Orbital Potato, and the GameGabster, and I wanted to complete that with a time-lapse. Now, if you'd like to see the full time-lapse without commentary, the end of the video, I will have a time-lapse that features the whole world, without me blabbering on about what happened and whatever. So if you want to see that and without the commentary, just skip ahead. It'll be there. Either way, though, we are revolutionary France, and we started this game, well, as, obviously, France, Austria, and the Ottomans. Orbital Potato ended up collapsing as the Ottomans, and then he played as Egypt. He released Egypt, played as Egypt, and then formed Arabia. So he kind of had a redemption in this game, even though he ultimately collapsed as the Ottomans, which was pretty insane. But regardless, we had a lot of fun this game, and I want to see it back. You know, it's been a while, like I said. I don't really remember exactly everything, so it'll be kind of a nice refresher to see the world play out. So we're going to kind of go back a little bit here. Just a little bit. I'm going to be stopping a little bit as well once we see major things happening. So, in the beginning, did I declare war on... Oh, I declared war on Aragon first. Okay, so Aragon was our first war, I believe. And that was right there. We took the northern part of Aragon, but sadly, they got the Iberian wedding shortly after that, so we couldn't really do much else. We did get Navarra, though, as a vassal. We annexed them. Austria didn't do a lot for the very early game because, well, he kept kind of coming back and forth between recording sessions, so the AI was kind of doing things as well, so it was kind of all messed up. The Ottomans, Orbital Potato was conquering a lot of Anatolia, like the Ottomans should do. We were conquering parts of Brittany and hopefully Burgundy very, very shortly here. What else happened? The Ottomans keep going this way. Now, oh, whoops. One of the problems that Potato had was that, not that he expanded too much, but that he couldn't maintain his large empire. His empire was just too big to handle at that point. You'll see it later on. It's a big explosion, basically. And he couldn't handle that. Not that he's a bad player or anything. Sometimes you just have a very bad predicament, and rebels are coming in, or a major foe is tackling you, and it just gets kind of hectic. We're not doing much right now. It's 1526, but things start to happen, especially with colonization. Portugal's already here. Now, sadly, I hate this. The history files kind of get screwed up. And the timeline doesn't accurately showcase what this was. C00 was Portuguese Brazil, essentially. The same thing with, like, Brittany over here conquers Mexico, basically names it Breton Mexico or something like that. It doesn't show up. It's very, very stupid. But, well, there you have it. Oh, that's when we make our first push into Italy. Now, we do end up owning quite a bit of Italy in the end, which was pretty damn nice. There's North Ireland. Yep. We pushed into Britain as well as down here in Cornwall. We have colonized Arguin and then moved on to South America. Not yet in North America, but we're getting there. We're conquering more in North Italy. The Ottomans took over Crimea. They are in the Levant. They are moving down the coast to the Gulf of Suez here in the Red Sea. Austria took over the Balkans, partially, took over Bosnia and Ragusa. What else did they do? Oh, they got it right. So, while I say that it doesn't look like they did much, they did take Denmark in a PU. That was the first major war that we fought against each other. It was me versus GameGabster and Orbital Potato for the throne of Denmark. Now, I didn't contest the throne. I came in to Denmark's defense. What did I do? Did I enforce peace? No. I actually don't remember what happened there. Maybe I was allied? I don't know. Anyway, I came in to help Denmark so that he couldn't take the throne. Sadly, he did, and ended up taking Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, which was a pretty big help for him early on. Now we're just... oh, there goes Spain. The Ottomans pushing down into northern Ethiopia. Well, not really. That's like Sudan. We are still over here. England was colonizing Argentina. and Uruguay. Somebody's over here now. C04. I'm not sure who this is. Probably Spain, maybe? I don't remember who I took this from. Exactly. Okay, well, Britain, Mexico's over here. The Commonwealth was a big ally and foe to some of us. It was an ally for me in GameGabster, but it was a major foe for the Ottomans and Orbital Potato. That was the ultimate collapse of his empire, was the Commonwealth. They really just took him out. So right here we have all of Ireland. I'm not sure. I think we have Scotland as a vassal at this point. Pretty sure, anyway. Brazil's a thing. We have the Argentine down here. We're colonizing the Cape. Let's just pause for a second. Are we over here yet? Nope, but Brittany is. Now, I let Brittany live for far too long. But that's the thing, though, because they actually helped me. So I may have let Brittany live for far too long, but they did colonize for me, and it made it easier for me to take. So most of Britain, Mexico, I do take. Most of, well, Frustralia, I do take as well. I'm kind of spoiling the time lapse. I'm spoiling it, even though this is the last episode, so you should probably already know what happened. So there we just took a lot of, I think, English Argentina? Something like that. We are finally now in Massachusetts in New England with New France. We name it Nouvelle France, which is basically New France. And then we have Canada, which we name Quebec, obviously. The best Canada, right? And here we have Mexico, which is Fa du Mexique, which changed to Le Mexique es Grand. I was basically trying to say, make Mexico great again, but that didn't really work out. The translation kind of got all screwy. We are in 1688. Are we over here yet? No, we're not. All right. Colonization kind of happened really fast, and I did take over a lot of countries, so I kind of have to watch out here. But we do have northern Hanover, I guess, like Westphalia kind of area over here. I'm not sure exactly when we got that, but we did kind of come in through East Frisia, and then from there conquer a little bit. Now we do have Cumbria, and Austria annexed Norway. They do Sweden and Denmark as well very, very shortly. And it's CO7. I think that's Norwegian land that just turned over to Gabe's land. And the reason why it says CO7 is because it wasn't there at the end of the game. And we'll see why soon. It is 1692. We have the Cape, we have that. We should be starting to colonize New Zealand very, very shortly here. Not sure when that happens exactly, but... Come on. What? I don't remember a lot, like I said, but... oh, there we go. We just took over a lot of... What was this? Was this the Spanish War? I think this was the Spanish War, but we took over the rest of, basically, Eastern America. We have Louisiana now. We have Quebec in full glory. Le Mexique es Grand stayed small for quite a while until we actually went after Brittany. The Ottomans, this was their prime, right? This was the Ottoman prime. They were massive. They just... Now, I forgot to show this, but they just lost the major battle against the Commonwealth. They had to release Tripoli. They had to release Ardalan, Circassia, and I think Bulgaria. Maybe that was the next one. Yeah, something like that. Shamar. This was the start of the fall of Orbital Potato. I mean, you can comment afterwards all you'd like, but in a multiplayer setting, it's very, very hard to kind of play well in real time, because you can't really pause that often, you know? So it's very, very hard. We are now down here in Australia. We start taking over things. We are now revolutionary France. Oh, no, we're not. That's just my tooltip, which is showing the end game. So, Austria obviously did some massive expansion. I kind of missed that, but they took over Hungary. They took over Serbia. There's still little bits here. Wallachia right there. Transylvania was given to them. I was conquering North Africa into Tripoli because the Ottomans just collapsed. And released Greece, Bulgaria, Tunis, Mamluks, which turned into Egypt. Oh, so many things. So then he decided to play as Egypt, which was a pretty smart decision, because then he had a goal, which was to form Arabia, pretty much. The Commonwealth just massively grew after this, because Muscovy could not hold their ground, and they ended up falling. Now, here I am over here in New Zealand with Frustralia. Really amazing name. we take over a lot more stuff in America here. Quebec, Nouvelle-France, Louisiana, Le Mexique Grande, which is still kind of pushing this way. I'm not sure if I take over the rest of this. I know I don't, actually. L'Argentine, continuing to expand. Cape. We did quite a lot of colonizing towards the end of the game here, and we're getting pretty close to the end. We're at 1746, and it's very quick that things start happening. So Austria takes over Greece. They pretty much take over the rest of this the Balkans. We are probably going to go to war against Brittany very shortly here. Just kind of watching Australia and Mexico. And I think it just happened. No, it did not. Okay, keep going. We're continuing to expand in Argentina. Brittany is getting pretty massive over in Mexico, but there it is. So we just took a massive chunk out of Breton, Mexico, and also the rest of Australia, which they owned. So we had basically, I mean, this is the one thing I hate about late game colonizing in Australia and just this whole region, is that the nations over here should not be able to colonize this much before Europeans get here. Like, it's crazy for them to own the Philippines before we even, get there. And Australian mainland, that it's ridiculous. So I think that needs to change, but it was pretty good nonetheless. It looks like Hawaii is given to England here. Huh. And Useji owns most of mainland Japan. They're pushed over to the Ainu lands, which is, what's this called? Tokachi, something like that. What's the island called? God damn it. I used to know it. Oh, well. It's lost on me. Ming is massive as well. In fact, Ming was allied with Austria, because I actually took over, that's right, I actually took over southern China. I took over the Hong Kong, Macau region of China, which was pretty damn nice, because it was another nation before that. It was like the Zhou or something like that. And I took it over because it was one of my one of my national missions or whatever. So it was pretty damn lucky of me to take that small, wealthy chunk of China. What else do we do? I guess we'll just let time pass a little bit more. It is getting close to the big war between me, GameGabster, and Orbital Potato. But you can see him conquering a lot of Arabia in here as we end the game. I take over the rest of Tunis lands, Jared, and the Ottoman lands. He forms Arabia, and then his mission at that point was just to take over the rest of Arabia. I'm also revolutionary France, so Napoleon is leading my country. What was that? Oh, he let Sweden go because he thought it would help him in the war, so that he wouldn't have to focus on this land, which was smart, but it was a little too late for that, because I think they couldn't have a massive army at that point. North America looks pretty divided between French, English, and Austrian. So this is Austria's lands. I think it was a Gabster land or something like that. And, what is this? Portuguese Alaska, that's right, okay. I also colonized Eastern Siberia, so there's that as well. I was just doing a lot of fun at the end there. Siberia meant nothing, but I thought it was the last place I can colonize, so I might as well do it. And we're getting ready for the war. In 1811, we start the war, and I'm not sure when we ended it. It was pretty close to the end of the game when we ended the war. In fact, I think it was the end of the game that we ended the war. So, at this point, from 1811 to 1820, me and Gabster are fighting. Orbital Potato didn't really strengthen up his forces enough for him to really participate, but he did end up helping me, in the end, defeat Gabster. And with that, we had the treaty, which was signed that gave me back Venice. Now, this was taken in an earlier war by him. He took over Venice, he took over Dithmarschen, and I took it all back, as well as Canada. It is all Quebec, all French. What else did I take? I took some other things too, but this is the end of the game, the end map. And I'll take a look at the little map modes here. So I stayed Catholic. Protestantism was killed in Europe, absolutely decimated, which was kind of interesting because it survived in other parts of the world. England, even though it says they're Catholic. Oh, that's me. God. You're right. So they were Protestant. They spread most of the Protestantism out into the colonies, but it was pretty much dead. And it looks like Australia is reformed. That's interesting. Okay. Wow, what? Oh, I guess Brittany was reformed. Yeah. That's still interesting, though. Okay. Sunni was pretty massive. It spread up to middle Siberia. Well, I guess you'd say western, because this is the tip, pretty much. Let's see, culture. I don't think we changed much in terms of culture. I know Gabe did, but I didn't really focus on it. So he converted a little bit in the Balkans. I didn't convert a damn thing, but I do own quite a lot of Francian cultures across the world. Well, think of it this way, right? I didn't convert, but my colonial nations probably did when they took over... Well, for instance, they took over Spain, and there is barely any residue of that over here because they just converted all that. That's one thing I love about colonial nations, is that they do change the culture. It's pretty damn amazing. Down here we have Francian. Yeah, so they changed all that. Wow, that's pretty nice. And we have Francian down here in Australia, but... Oh, I guess it would have been Breton, wouldn't it? Yeah, so they must have changed that as well. That was quick then, because we took that over pretty close to the end of the game. Oh. Okay. What else can I show? Estates. By the end of the game, I only had the clergy really to worry about, and the bourgeoisie. Dynastic. I could show dynastic, I believe. So, Bonaparte rules France still. We have Napoleon II, technically. The reason why it's the first is because the E isn't, there isn't a thing over the E, which is just ridiculous. What else do we have? We have Provence and Brandenburg as lesser partners. I wanted to annex goddamn Provence before the end of the game, but it wouldn't allow me to. There is too much of a penalty for tyrant overlord. Napoleon, a tyrant? Come on, that's preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. We have the Knights as a march, Utrecht as a vassal, and then, of course, oh, Funge as well. Funge is our march as well. That is about it. I'll take a look at this map mode. Or rather, I'll take a look at player map mode. All that blue. Look at that. That is absolutely amazing. Most of America, the back end of South America, the Cape, some of the Middle East. Not Syria. I tried to get Syria. I absolutely tried, but I just couldn't get it. China, Siberia, Australia, New Zealand. It's just amazing. I'd love it. Absolutely love it. We'll take a look at the great powers, though. So we have Spain, myself, GameGabster, Commonwealth. We have Tier Hut, the Ming, Orbital Potato. You see the rankings here. He made it on the board by the end of the game. That's all he really wanted was that. So yeah, it was a pretty damn nice game. I really enjoyed this. They were fun to play with. They really were. And I feel bad for him losing his country, but he did make it up in the end. But anyway, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I am now concluding the Great Power series with this time-lapse. So please, of course, stay tuned for the time-lapse without commentary, so you can see the whole world without me blabbering on. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and definitely stay tuned for more.